Hey, I'm feeling cozy. I just had my head wrap on. That's why my head kind of looks like a pea right now. But I got my hair. I washed my hair 2 days ago. Then I twisted it. It's completely dry now. Moisturized. Oh, honestly, it feels so good. I really needed that wash. So I just ate a sandwich and I'm drinking some juice. Still got my French tips. They're gel. Love it. So I was just getting a little emotional because, well, first of all, it's the full moon tomorrow in Taurus, and also a lunar eclipse. So there's a lot of energy going on, towards the end of the year. But, besides that, I watched a pick a card reading about a past life, of me just doing a simple life on a farm or something similar, shepherd like job. And there was no technology like the technology that we have today, and there was no comparison to everybody. So the wisdom from that past life was basically, it's so crazy because I talk so fluently when I'm talking to myself, but mid-sentence I just realize I'm talking to a camera, and then I start like, what should I say? How do I make it right? And that really goes along with what I'm trying to say. Which was a more simplistic time where there was no technology, there's no one to compare yourself with growth. So when that past life wanted to do something, it was out of drive and passion and wanting to do a new thing, rather than competition or to get a step ahead or to be comparison to this person and that person. Like, instead of chasing unrealistic comparisons to others or even competing with themselves, they just did things out of passion. And I've tried to do this notion nowadays of comparing myself, not comparing, of competing with myself. But it wasn't working out because then I felt like I'm not better than who I was yesterday. I'm not better than who I was last year. I'm not better than who I was 5 minutes ago. And that wasn't working out either. So I guess I was stuck. And I realized that when I get stuck, I don't even know the questions to ask to get unstuck. I don't even know I'm stuck sometimes, because sometimes I think I found the formula. I have to follow it. If I'm not following it right, there's something wrong against me, why I'm having resistance to the formula. And I never really think like, maybe it's the formula, maybe I need to switch up the formula. So here I am switching up the formula, well, I guess, and just trying to live and be. And who knew, like, we always think wisdom is in this advanced technology, or it's gonna come in the future and all this stuff, because I've never been quite a conservative person. I've always thought innovation's better. Innovations all have to evolve. And I never thought about like really evolving with old thoughts that worked and evolving them to where I am today. And it is so crazy. Like, I knew elders had wisdom, but I did not know that a past life of me on a farm would have so much wisdom that I would need today. Isn't that crazy? I thought the more I would incarnate, the more experience I got, the more wise I would be. And I'm starting to realize that me as a child, I was actually super duper wise. I was actually really wise. And for months now, for a majority of the year, I've been getting messages, just divine messages about, think about back then, what you used to love as a child. That's what you're supposed to be doing. What do you like to do? And I'm like, I don't remember. Think about who you were. And I'm like, I don't know. So all the things that happen, it's like, I started to fall into despair. Like, maybe I just don't know who I am. Maybe I just forgot. Maybe it's lost in the sauce. Like, I don't know. So I started to try to redefine who I was and find who I am now today. And just something about that reading just jolted me right back to childhood. And I have a very distinct memory of, no, I have a lot of memories from childhood. I have a crazy memory, by the way, which why it really like hurt me that I couldn't remember who I was as a child. But I had this distinct memory of my childhood. I'm in Jamaica. I'm on my veranda of what you people, if you don't know veranda, would say porch. So I'm on the porch and I'm basically like preaching. Growing up, I never like, there were a lot of things I knew was really weird with the teachings that I was being taught in Christianity. Even as I remember being so young, like 6-7 years old, and just knowing that there were already so many contradictions and just feeling this great despair about hell or whatever. But even within that, I still saw so much love in something, in a higher power, in a universe, in connectivity, you know? And man, I just remember me waking up early morning and pretending that it was some type of Sunday morning. I grew up Seventh-day Adventist, so we went to church on Saturday. But when we like visited family and stuff, we'd go to church on Sunday. But besides the point, if you grew up Christian, you know, sometimes you visit other people's churches on a different day. There's sometimes a night for whatever the occasion was. But I was on the veranda and I had this book, and this book was basically just supposed to teach me the alphabet. At this time, I couldn't even write my own name. I remember writing, and I used to just make up words and just read it back and remember it and then forget it because it wasn't real words. But I had this book, and I remember like the Z at the end of it was like zebra, and it was this like thick book. You know those thick little cardboard books that they give to children or babies? But I had that book, right? And it had like, I think it maybe had like a little sentence about the zebra, like to memorize the letter. So I had that, and I'm walking back and forth just in my nightie, just, you know, just preaching to like just stray dogs like on like the dirt road in front of my house. And I'm just preaching about God, and I'm flipping the pages, and I'm acting like it's a book, and I'm kind of imitating my pastor. But I remember that like feeling, and right now I'm picking up like the color yellow, and the yellow represents the solar plexus chakra, which basically represents, you know, our passion and our confidence. So right now I'm feeling yellow, like I see yellow right now, and I can just feel yellow just like coming from my body, like that vibration. And that's who I was, and it's such a subtle memory. And I've always carried that memory, but it's like, that's who I was. And it wasn't competing to be someone else or trying to one up the other person. Not even if a way it's malicious, but you know, in this day and age, we see all these things on social media. And I used to think it was so annoying when people say this, but it's true. People really only see what they want to see. We have that option, right? So sometimes it's like, you know, we see all these kids, and you go on YouTube and you go on just like the front page, and you see things like, buy my first mansion at 17 years old. And I'm like, oh my gosh, because I still live at home. I'm like, oh my gosh, your first mansion, like getting my dream car at 20. And my car needs an oil change right now. And I'm like, oh buddy, we'll get there, we'll get you there. We'll get you one soon, like chill out. But yeah, and it could be so discouraging, but I guess I just like put it in the back of my head like, nah, I'm not jealous of anybody, this and that. But seeing all these like subliminals of like, you know, successful young people, it's like, man, what could I do? What could I do? Am I behind? And think about that memory of me in that veranda, just getting up early, not because I had somewhere to go, just because I wanted to be. And I didn't even change out of my pajamas to present myself as anything professional. I just let myself be, and I'm barefoot, and I'm just walking back and forth, and like the coolness of the veranda and the tiles is just so satisfying, and I just loved being there. And I had this book, and I can't even read, and I'm acting like this is the Bible. I didn't understand the Bible. Right now, there's still a lot of things about the Bible I don't understand. You know, I don't really read the Bible like that. I'm not a part of organized religion anymore. but I'm there and I'm just pretending and I'm just preaching, and it's not like I have any verses memorized. I'm just speaking about God, about love. It's like, that's who I am. I'm just being. And I'm sure the next level, if I wanted to go on from that and do something else, would have been to like learn how to read, learn how to write, which I did do, but kind of got clouded in the school system where you're forced to write, you're forced to read, you're just forced to do these things so much that it kind of sucks the passion out of it. But those would have been the next natural steps because I liked doing it. I loved it. And, it's just so crazy. Like, that's who I am. And today I was buying a sandwich, and I was just thinking about the healing, like, that I need to do, like the shadow work that I need to do, just like prompts, just like questions. And one of the questions was like, who's chasing you? Like, why do I feel like I'm running out of time? Who's chasing me? Who's yelling at me to go? Who yelled at me and chased me in the past? And why do I still live in that fear? Why don't I just let myself be? I always think I'm like, I could be doing more. I'm getting older. And it's like, you're 23. Breathe. Live life. And I'm thinking, I don't know. I just got this thought that's like, maybe I should have been more evolved sooner. And it's like, breathe. You're 23. You're so evolved. Like, you've learned and you've healed so much. And I'm really learning to take that shame and guilt away from myself. Like, I don't need to be guilty about learning. That's what we came here to do. And in the past life, hearing that reading, it's like, wow, like, that person is a part of me. Like, honestly, like, that is me. They were just so upfront, and they said, ignorance was bliss, because I didn't have social media. I didn't have the technology that you had to see what Bill, Bobby, and Shelly are doing. I didn't have that. All I had was myself and my farm and animals, and I felt so fulfilled. And I feel so emotional right now because it's around the full moon, and I get really emotional around the full moon. I'm very connected to the moon. And full moon is about releasing. It just makes me feel so good. I've been not working, but I've been volunteering at this organization, this nonprofit that helps feral cats. So I've been helping like get some feral cats before it gets snowy. So that's been making me feel so fulfilled, and it just makes me feel so nice realizing that I just felt so fulfilled. And last night I heard my mom, and she was like, oh, she hated how it looked on the porch, because like we have like a crate on the porch with food to lure the cats in, and when the cats go in the cage, door closes, and then they take the cat to get tested and make sure everything's okay, clean them up and stuff, and get them ready and socialized for adoption. So she was saying how who cares about cats, look at how my porch looks, blah blah blah, and it's only such a small part of the porch too. And I'm just thinking like, wow, like, now I'm connecting it back to the veranda in Jamaica. This is crazy. Reflection is crazy. But now I'm thinking, wow, how would life be if we just be and let other people be? Because I felt so fulfilled during this like week. It's just, I just started off week just, seeing if I could like, catch cats, because they're there. They're there. I see them. I see stray cats, and how people do. I think a lot of them like made it in the summer, so now there's like a lot of like stray kittens. And it's like, I felt so good about it. And just because someone's yelling at me doesn't mean I need to listen or respond. And sometimes you do have to live in your own world. And just because someone's yelling at me about something doesn't take the joy and fulfillment away from what I'm doing, just because someone's yelling at me that it's not what they would be doing. Like, let me just surround myself with people that love me. And sometimes it's hard because we can't always be where we want to be at all times because of restrictions. Depends. But I'm going to try to make my mind a prettier place, but not in a way that I'm creating false illusions about the world, but coming back into my truth. That is really just full of love and light and just being, because that's what we all are. And I just don't know what I'm trying to chase. I don't need to chase anything, and I don't need to try to be anybody. I don't need to try and compete with myself or compete with others, especially because we're all on our own divine journeys. And it's not too late. I could be 90 years old and it's never too late. So it's like, the questions are like, if you want to ask yourself too, is who's chasing you? Who's chasing you? How are you kidding yourself? And lastly, who is yelling at you? What are they yelling about? And how to make it quiet. You can't make people shut up. But how do you make your mind a more quiet and peaceful place? So that's what I've been working on. And my solar plexus chakra. So if anybody's listening to this, that's cool. I'm recording this on my MacBook. I have so many videos on my MacBook about me just opening up. And but I feel like I might post this. The quality's not good, but I feel like you can just feel that old school YouTube. I'm just on my laptop and I'm gonna post this video, nothing crazy type vibe. I got my laundry here. As you can see, that's my ring light. So yeah, thanks for being here. Thanks for watching. Hope you learned something. Yeah. Bye.